Hello, hello. Well, my brain completely lapsed for this today. Oh, I've not got the music going on the right scene. Hang on, let's fix that. There we go. Music's back. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get going then. No messing around. So we've got these three. Oh, there's a few more around. There's a few of these at the trailhead, and so let's dive into it. Hello, Ken. Sorry for cutting our games short. It was not my intention. Right. Choose Polyomino and Gemini for this. So we can have these little spares. So that's nice, right? Ooh. So we've got options. I think that orange anyway. We got anything more like that? Like, there's no way that could go up. Which means it always has to take those two. Sorry, no, wait, it's not that it can. Yeah, that's gotta be like that. There's a lot of like variances in a lot of this, which is curious. I don't know if that necessarily tells me anything. No. Maybe that's something we can work with. So it would have to do that. Whereas if it was this one connecting, no, there's options there. What about this T here? So it's either that way or that way there. Which does give us, again, those three, like this one. Those two are both always the same. Has to be at least those two. It was 4. Maybe I need to notes a bit. So let's say this was 4, so it was that going down. That would then force that to be that shape. Then would mean this would have to be a 4. Actually, that is just straight up the next step. I can ignore all of that. We know this S has to go one way or the other up through here, which means this can't be the I, because it would have to go that way. If it went up, it would hit this Gemini. And there's no way you can fit an I in that shape. So, this has to go that way. There we go. We got us something. Which then also gives us this. And then there's multiple ways that that can fit in. Could be like that. Actually, let's go back to my notes. It could be like that. Put the S there. Or the L could go like that. Put the S like that. It's always going to extend up one, I suppose. So now if this was an L, you always have to take up those three. Whereas if it's the S, actually, it would always take up those two. Hello, I have a cat on my desk now. Hello, Raven. You being a nuisance? Are you going to see Mum outside? Yeah. How have you got cobwebs on you again? No, you're just gonna be in my way. Hi. Yeah, she's just sitting on my desk mat now. Right in the way. Wanna say hi? No, I don't think so. Just don't boop into the microphone, please. Oh, no, what did I say? Rubbing her face along it. You're coming into my lap. I have a stream to do. I've got important business. Okay, well. I need a webcam. Cat cam. Okita's missing out on this quality content. Are you sitting in my lap now? Okay. I think she's settling down in my lap. There you go. Good girl. Okay. Alright. We have a lap cat now. And she's gonna be demanding for pets, aren't you? Yeah, you are. Okay. Right. Okay. So, can we actually do anything more with this? Because I went straight up to here, but there was this bit that I originally started with. which I could maybe continue. As if that was long, that was an eye there. And then there was an eye there. Oh, you're gonna fall off like that. There you go. Then that would force this one to be an L there, which then now means that S doesn't have space to go. So, yes, we do have something we can do there. So that is long. And we have a T shape like that, which means we have to have a T going out here, which is not going to go... Ah, claws, Raven. Ow. Claws. Thank you. So again, if this is a T that way, you have an L, an S there, and the L does fit in there. So that's fine. If we have the T going out to 3 long, might put the same pressure as the 4 out. Because yeah, again, the S can't go that way now, so the S has to go that way, which then leaves no space for this L. So we do have a wall there. We do have that like that. Fill in that S now. Whoops. Fill in that L. And now we have all of this area to fit H squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it is 8 exactly. So there's not going to be any left over, which means this does have to come down into this spot. I probably could have figured that out from the get-go. So what does that mean? I think that means it can't be an L. Yeah, because then we need another L, and we don't have an L in that spot up there. Oh, hello, Raven. She's interested in the screen now. Hi. She's seen the mouse, and she was having a little bap at the screen. She's gone now, though. She's gone back to the windowsill. You silly little thing. Okay. Yeah. This is an S. Wait. No. Wait, that can't be an S. What have I done wrong? Oh, no. Oh. Music, VVV. Oh no, I think I've gone wrong all the way back here. I think I've just completely messed this up. And the square actually goes up and the S goes down. I'm sorry. Like, I might be wrong, but I that's the only way that I can see that I would have gone wrong. Which then does give us this as a square. Get that down there. And then we've still got the same sort of limits on this being an L, an I even. And we've already figured out now that this whole area needs to be without a spare shape or a spare square. Hi. Can you not rub your face on the microphone? Thank you. Yeah, you can see on my lap. That's fine. She's so fussy. Again, you are in just the wrong position. You're gonna fall. Yo. Okay. Which now actually means we have this space that needs to be 4 long for it to fit in. Yeah. And then we have a T there and this there, which I think is the only way for this to fit in. So now we can just fill out these last few bits. Like so. There we go. So it wasn't a complete waste of me doing that, I suppose. Like, I did at least get some information about the center. I was just being silly. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Start with that. Start with that. And in fact, that whole square there. Precision. All areas exactly 4. Mingle shapes. Okay. This can't go beyond there. It can't go up into that, so it has to come down like so. This cannot fit as a T anywhere apart from there now. So now that has to be an I up there. This needs to come out to be at least 4, which now means this cannot come over this way. So this has to be an L there. This has to be a new shape, which can't connect to this 2x2. That has to be an S to not mingle. What do you want? She's being quite demanding. She's just saying my lap, but like she's pawing at my arm, being like, "Hey, give me attention." But like I'm already stroking her. I just have one hand on the mouse, and the other hand is stroking her. So like, he's just being really picky tonight. But I want all the attention, Dad. Okay. Well, they do have to come out from them. But This throws a loop that has to connect. Oh, I'm doing something wrong again. What's wrong, Raven? Hello. You're being a little mannish. Okay. Yeah, I think I've done something wrong again. Because this can't... No, I've not done something wrong. It is an L there, and then that's an S there. Got it. There we go. And then we've got that up there. This is going to be a T like that. This is going to have to be an S there. This is an L that comes out. She's seeing the screen again. Nothing's moving. It's my mouse cursor. You can't... I don't know if it's just because she wants to play. She demands so much play. Don't you? You're a little demanding thing. But you are lovely and sweet. Yep, she is. Following my mouse. Okay, so this can't extend out this way. She is really distracting me now. This now has to either be those four or those four. Raven, stop attacking the computer, please. Thank you. Oh, we've got the same down here. So this can only go 3 that way, so that means it needs to be at least those 2. When are you wanting to get in my lap again? Go on. Okay, I maybe have, like, some maths that I can do with this. Oof. Yeah, no, let's go back to figuring out if this is something mathematically doable. 13, 14. So, I mean, well, that doesn't work. $14 would make it 2 left over, because it would be 12. So what about if... Well, hang on. So let's say... Yeah, so this is what I'm thinking. Got 10. Actually... Yeah, so let's just throw in some random force. 4 and 4, and then you're left with 2. So that means we can't block it off like that, or can we, if we have the right shape? Then this would need to come in. It would be like that, and that's 8, which does work. But then you have this bit to worry about, which is either going to be an L, which conflicts, or it's an I, which conflicts. Okay. So I think that has to go back this way. Does it mean it's that? And then we could have, yeah, 4, like that. Something like that? No, that doesn't work. Oh, that's maybe where I need to go. That's what I'm looking at now. So this orange, can it be that? It could be a T. Can't be an L because then we'd lose that. It could be an I. It has to be at least those 3. Can't be an L to... Yeah. So it's a T or an I. It's a T. This is going to get blocked off here. Has to be an I. You can have an S there. And we have a 2 by 2. And that fits in there, and the I fits in there. There we go. We're making some progress. We're going to have something here, which I think is going to be that. That. That's going to be an S. That's going to be a square. All of a sudden, I just, like, managed to... My brain just saw the end there. It's fed up. Oh, I'm sorry. I hit spacebar and she jumped. Oh. Okay. Oh, good. Okay. So they're all separate. We have to extend some of these out. Connect, so that has to extend. It's extending there. That's another new color. Goodness. That has to extend there. This also has to be extending out now, and that extends. That has to extend, that has to extend. That now can't pick up a blue or a yellow, so that is finished. And then this needs to be the same. We can do the same in a lot of places, like all of these corners here. So we can extend all of this out, like so. Gotta extend, that's gonna all extend. Gotta extend. It could be the same. Extend, that extends. This needs to pick up another color, so that has to extend one more. That's blue there. Oh, this is like a melancholic Sonic. Extend like that. That gives this more extensions. It can't be there, so that extends there and there. That extends. That extends. Can't go with that. This blue now has to be its own thing, which is probably this shape, like that, to fit with the Gemini. Needs to come out. That needs to come out. That needs to keep coming out. Still needs to keep coming out. Pick up a yellow. Just needs to pick up that as a blue. Picks up a yellow, and then one of these is a blue. Is that? Yeah. Okay. That has to come down. Oh, no. No. Something's gone wrong here. Oh, what have I done wrong? Take some sense back. Go back. Go right. So that's them two, and this good measure. Tell you what, no, let's just restart. I'm sorry, but just a bit concerned. So I'm right so far with all of this. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That is a completed shape. Okay, so is all of that okay? I think so. So let's now go to these red circles. Which has a lot forced. There has to be one more to complete that shape. This still needs a yellow. So this is all fine. Now it can't go that way, because then they share a shape. So it has to go down. Whoops. And then that is a dead end there. Can't go back on itself. This is a new shape here, which is just 3 long like that. So that was something I was missing somehow. Right. So that picks up that yellow to be able to complete that shape. Could extend there, but I don't know that yet. Okay. So now that is feeling a bit better. So this could go here. It could be a new shape. Hang on, this sort of green shape here has to pick up this blue, because it can't pick up another blue anywhere else. Because let's say it picks up this red, can't then escape to grip another blue. It can't loop back on itself with that. It could grab this red, which it probably will in fact. But I don't know that. But it does have to grab this blue. The cat is settled in my lap now. She seems to be sleeping. One thing we can do is split up those. And I'm not sure. Let's start looking at these blue squares. That is that finished. This can't be the same shape. We need space for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this has to stretch out 5. Which probably means it's going to be this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because that can't really fit in any other way. And there's no like extra embellishes that it can have, so that is that. Cool. So this yellow needs to pick up these two, right? because otherwise it leaves them floating, yeah. But now, if I were to finish it as is, it would break the delta, so it has to pick up an extra one there. This has to pick up that as the only red it can find. This now needs to escape further. It can't pick up blue. Well, that's not going to be on the Gemini, so that's a wall. Does this work? 2, 3, 3, 4. Yes. So the question is, I suppose then, if it doesn't connect that, does it still work? So it can't do a 2, 3, 3, 4 because it breaks. But we could do it the other way. 4, 3, no. Okay, so this does connect here, and it does go for 4. There we go. These 3 are part of the same shape. Now we can probably start looking at these red circles again. Still reckon it could connect up with these. There is no reason so far that I can see that they couldn't be. Up and grab that. That can't be a spare. Just to come out. That's to come out. This now needs to be an L shape at least. Ooh, actually, it's going to be an S like that. Because it cannot find another red. And then that means that gets a little extra bit. This has to come out. Which, yes, this means these two are the same shape, which means this needs to come out again. This needs to come out. This has to pick up that blue. There we go. We're starting to get some stuff going. That has to have a little extra nubbin so it's not breaking the delta. And this has to pick up that blue, and that fills in the gap there. Yay. And Raven is sleeping now. She is quieting down. No more hunting mice on the monitor. Right. One last one of this area. Okay. Sheep ink. Which all need to be at least a 1/3. Well, I can immediately see pressure in this bottom right corner. This one at most can take up that much space, which means for starters it needs to be taking up those two, but then we've got this one in the corner to factor in, which isn't going to be able to go up because it can't fit the shape back there, so that has to keep going. This now means this has to take up this slot. Don't know if that's 3 or 4 yet. got something here that we can look at. That's about all we can do though. Oh wow, this music's moody. Goodness. This one on the right hand side has to be those three, at least, I think. Because the bottom right corner, for starters, nothing else can get that. It can't go out to the left further, which means it can only be a 2 wide, so it needs to be at least a 3 tall. And then it's either a 4x1 or a 3x2. Oh, my legs are starting to go dead with this cat on my lap. Yeah, I am talking about you. She just adjusts to being like, oh, my legs aren't dead. Oh, look at me, I can move all I want. I've got no one sitting on me. It really feels like she's bragging. She's rubbing it in. Okay, I'm gonna try and gently move her. Oh, my legs. Oh. There you go. She didn't seem too upset by that. Okay. I probably can be using more of the like limited access, like this blue that I've just put in the bottom left. Like, what else is going to be able to pick that up? Which of the red circles can pick it up? And that is the only one. And that now has no ambiguity about what shape it is. Ow, claws, claws, thank you. We've got these two spots that are also going to be like, well, what can get to them? Because this orange at the top is only going to be that. We don't really have anything more than that. And this blue has to go across to that because it can't pick up anything else. Again, though, that doesn't really give us much more to go on. This Gemini has to be at least those two. And then it can either go left, right, or up. Well, what about this behind the Gemini? That's the only one that can get that. Which then means that has to be at least a 3, could be a 4. And then we've got this top left corner, that can only be hurt that. This one can only be part of this one. This one has options. It could either be there or there. Same with this one. It could be there, there, or there. This one now has limits on it due to that, so that has to go up. Claws are even, please. Hello. Little menace. Where else is there that is restricted? This one is restricted now. No, it's not. No, never mind. Ignore me. This actually now is. This has to go up. At least to there. No. No, it doesn't need to do it that way. So, because it's on a Gemini, it has to be one wide. Which means it can't be a one wide horizontally. So it has to be a one wide vertical. It has to be at least 3. Could be 4. Which then now puts a constraint on this one, which has to go up to there. This also now has a constraint on it. That always had a constraint on it, because it could only ever be 4. So that has to be 4, that has to be 4. This does not have any constraints on it, because it could be either of those 2 red circles. This one can't go up 1, because then it's on a delta, and it's 4 long. So now this has to go up 3, thanks to the Gemini. So that makes that a 1/3. Which now makes this have to be a 2/x, which means it has to extend over. Which now means it can't go up, so it has to go to the left. Could be a 3 or a 4, we don't know yet. That has to be a 3, that has to be a 3. The only way this is a 3 is if it goes to the right and picks up that. So it completes that. Oh, baby. She is very snuggled down. We have to fill out this gap. This needs to be filled out now. So now these two are separate shapes. We have a wall between that. That is a 3 by 1. This is a 3 by 2. Which has to be that way, otherwise it hits that Gemini and does not work. This is at least a 3 by 1, but they could both be a 4 by 1 extending out one more. This now actually has a limit on it. It can't grab that red circle, because then it's limited to either a 3 by 2 or a 4 by 1. So it has to go this way. Potentially going one left or one right. And I think it's going to go one left. And we have to finish that at the bottom. This can't extend all the way down. It's already 3, so there has to be that. Just a wall there. This is constrained, it has to be connected to that red circle, which means that's forced now to be a 1 by 3. This is a 2 by 3. This is a 4 by 2. This is a 3 by 2 going one way or the other. Well, if it goes that way, there's no way to fill that top segment out, right? So that will be that. They'll stay as 1 by 3s. That'll be a 2 by 3. That's a 4, and then that finishes it off. There we go. Yay. Okay, and I think that is the trailhead finished. So now we can finally get back to the forest. Hey. Just a quick glance over. I'm not missing anything obvious. Nope. Okay. And as the title of the stream suggests, we're going to do the Palisades. So, cells containing a little U shape, like so, must always be dead ends. Cells containing eyes? I don't know what to call them. That shape, anyway, must have borders on opposite sides. So, you have a border already there, so that's a border. So that gives us a shape there. That has to be a dead end. That gives us a shape like that. Zoop. Easy enough. On to the next. Ah. Hang on. We already had the rule for that one. Let me see. Let's go back to the first one. So we've got the corner. You know what? I don't know. I'll get the tutorial back for that. But anyway, yeah. We have various things to constrain us. So this has a single wall. So we can say that it does that. Oh, someone knocked at the door and now the cat's gone. Oh. Quick, take the chance to stretch. Oh. Before she inevitably comes back. Okay, so that's two shapes like so. This needs a wall on both sides, so this is just the opposite. Ta-da! Two options. Oh, that's a too difficulty one. Stick with the one. Corner cells containing blank blah 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 that must lie in a corner of a region. It must be connected to other cells. Well, do we not? I'm confused. Did we not already get that as a rule? Technically. Anyway, we've got that. That needs to be a dead end. That needs to have walls. That's now a corner there. That's a dead end. That has walls. They extend out like so. Let's do this too now. Precision. Right, regions of 5. That's a corner. That's a dead end. Could be any manner of things. Right, no. Precision helps us here, so that has to be 1. It can't go up here because then we lock off 1, so that is that completed. If this was a dead end, like so, you would only be able to take 4. So that means we have to have a wall there, and that gives us a region of 4 there, which gives us the dead end. And that gives us 5 and 5 there. Now we've got this one to figure out. Well, we've already got a wall there. So that means this one isn't. So that extends there. And then that just basically gives you the shape. There we go. Remember, a single region can never touch both sides of a border. This means that dangling border ends are forbidden. So we're going to do that. That is a dead end. This needs 2 opposing sides. This has 1. So that gives us that. And that is the entire shape. It's a little splat bear rug thing. I've got these as corners. This is now a dead end, which goes up. That's got borders on each side. Yeah, and now that tells us that. In these puzzles, you may find it very helpful to use edge drawing In these puzzles, you may find it very helpful to use edge drawing mode to mark borders you are absolutely sure of. I mean, I was kind of doing that. Oh, well. That's one thing, I suppose. That's a dead end, which we've now got. That has 2 opposing edges. This is a corner that we've already got 1 of. Can't be the opposing edge, so that goes down there. Can't turn back on itself, so they are separate. this only has one wall, so now that is completed. So it has to extend for a moment where this can't turn back on itself, though it has to be a wall there. And that actually finishes it off. Cool. Then 3 more puzzles. Oh, ooh. Ooh. That's a pretty looking area, isn't it? Okay. All regions must be this shape. And like, is weird looking at this because it looks like, well, how do you have enough information? You only have 3 things to use, but this one up here, it has to be a corner like that. If it was a corner the other way, we can't get that 2x3 there, because this can't have a corner there. So that is a corner there. And then now, this one can't be a corner there, because then we trap that. So that's a shape there. Also gives it a shape there. That now has to take that, that, and that, and easy. Oh, and got some polyominoes with this one. This one we can actually do something with. That goes like so, which now means this cannot be part of that same region. So that shape is done. That gives us a wall on this one, which gives us the other wall. Connects with this, so that gives us that as a shape. This now has to be its own shape, which probably goes up just because of the ambiguity of that area. But we'll not use that, so that gives us a wall on this shape, which then also gives us a wall on this palisade. They both extend out. I can't go to there, so as said, I'll go there. There'll be a 4 there. There we go. There's just one big shape in the middle. So I'm surprised by that. Holy cow. Okay. Oh, it's a heart-shaped puzzle. Isn't that nice? A lot of dead ends. So okay, there is also a precision rule that I missed. So I think that means that all of these dead ends have to be from separate regions, because the second you have 2 connected, oh no, not entirely true, and in fact that will have to be. But they cannot connect directly. The second they do, you need a dead end on either side. But they can, like here, have a gap between them, which then gives you what you need. So, this one can't go that way, yeah, or that way. It has to go up, and that's a 3-cell region there. These can't connect directly here, so that's going to have to be a new region. That can't go across because then we've got 2 part in the top. Can't go up because then we've got a 2-part on the right, so it has to go down. Thought I'd gone wrong for a second then. Because it's that there. This is a new region. This one can't go. No, this one has to go that way. I think there's a better way of me looking at this. For this one, if it goes down, you have a 2 area, which you're not going to fill with this. So, that has to go to the left. Yeah, there we go. Now this one is a dead end. So you're going to have to corner there. And now, we can finish off like that. Ta-da! More Palisades. So, wall there. This one's interesting because there's a corner, which means it's always going to go up, which gives us the walls on that. Also means that goes up, which gives us a wall there because it needs to corner. Can't go that way, then it has to corner back on itself, so it goes that way. Can't go back on itself, so that has to be a wall. This has a wall on one side, so it has to have a wall on the other. And that finishes us off there. Excellent. Yeah, we'll keep going up these lovely little stairs. Next. Oh. Okay, rose window. And only 2. Well, that gives us this. Every tile needs to be, every tile needs to be connected to a rose window. So we can't have a wall there because that locks it off. This can't go back on itself, so I have to have a wall there. And that gives us a corner here. Keeps going. This is all our region, which is separate, so that has to extend like so. Again, this can't go back on itself, so it's going to have to go down. Keep this going. Can't go back on itself, so it has to take that. It's going to want more. This has to escape. Keeps going. Can't go back on itself, so it has to go there. So one region has all of the Palisades. Quite funny. I like that. It has to be a corner still, so we can do that. New region. This turquoise region has to get to this area, so we can do that. And then that takes that, and then finish off like that. That's weird. This puzzle has 3 colors, even though it only has 2 regions that are even possible. Okay, again, 2 regions, but this time with 2 of these symbols. Well, we can't have a wall there, otherwise that can't have an opposite. Yeah, so it has to keep going like that. Go through. This is all going to be the same region. This one's right. They've given this one 2 colors, even though they're similar colors, which isn't great, but you know. We can't go there. And we're not going to be able to go... I mean, we probably do go up 1 because of that. Yeah, that's the only way that can work. Yellow will keep going down. Couple of walls there. It'll keep going there. Again, we've got this as a whole separate region. Yellow will keep doing that. Yellow will have to go through this way. Get walls. Orange will keep going around here. Ooh, bandtail. Da 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 da. Da, da, da. Right, let's keep going. Oh, orange spikes up this time. Keeps moving around like so. Yellow needs to keep going. Just gonna pick up that. Go for them. That's the yellow area finished, and the orange. Connect up. Ooh, there's a 4 there. Let's do this 3 first. This is a 3. Well, that's all 4. This has to go up, which now means it can't go to the left because it's 2 polyominoes. So that gives us our 5L there. Well, this is never going to be part of either of these. So that is a 2x2 square there. This is now limited on how it can even fit in. Can only go there. Now means this is a shape like so. Tempted to say this plus goes into both of them. Like, it potentially doesn't have to. This S is not going to hit either of these 2 dead ends. So that means it has to be that. So now that has to be a dead end. Can't connect there because that would make that allowed to be a dead end. That gives us this shape. This plus now. I mean, it's got 2 spots to go, I guess. But it seems. That's the only way it can actually go. And then we've got an L there to finish off. There we go. Huh. All blank areas. So we can immediately do this, I suppose. Like, there is nothing to say that any of these shapes do or do not have to be connected, though. And this Gemini. This Gemini is the only thing that we have to be able to figure out well, let's get rid of everything else for a second. This at the top needs to expand. But as it stands, no matter how I expand it, the yellow area has to be expanded somewhere too. Because this shape just doesn't really exist otherwise. Why do I feel like it could be something really weird like that? Struggling a bit with this one. So we need a spot where a 4x4 sort of area can fit for this top one. So 4x4, but it is only sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Because it's got to be. It's like, yeah, that's 4, but you've not got that 2 bit at the top here that you would need. You've got it. No, that doesn't even work. Because it would have to be, yeah. Have 2 there and the 2 there. So if that's not 4 that it needs. Could get them from there. We have a little bit of a 2 there and a 2 there. And then that would be that. But then you would need to claim that one. plus the two behind it. So those two would have to be over here. Do that. And that. But then now you've got this one which needs 4 around it. Would be those 4. And that would match with this one, which now can't have those 4 around it because of this one. So it's not that. What about the other way? It's not going to be the other way, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, because you've only got 3 there. But like, there is a 4 there. But you don't get the 2 that you need there. And there is that. You need to connect it up to here somehow. Get the diagonal included. And then you'd have to have from one of these. It would have to be this one. There we go. I think that's... Oh, no, that's not it. Not quite. Not yet, at least. Hang on. No, we're closer. Because now then we have this, which will have to have 4. Which is part of this. Which would be this, which is those 4. Okay. Okay, I think that's it. Now I just need to follow my lines that I've got. And then this goes like that. If we get all of them lines, then we're done. Oh. Get rid of those notes. That was kind of tricky. I want these to be different colours, please. There we go. Oh, look at this bit. There's like little hobbit holes over there. Oh, look at them. Secrets for upcoming areas. Okay. Oh, we've also got a secret little path up here. Is this to a new area? Or is this all the same? I think it's all the same area. Yeah, it's still on Palisades. Ah, where am I? I've been eaten. Okay. We'll do this little lakey bit. We've got a corner there. Walls there. Can't go back on itself. That's to connect that. Means it doesn't go back on itself. Wait. Oh no, it's that corner. There we go. And then... that'll be that. Is that right? That is right. Yeah. Building fences. Restore the palisade window. Means we can go on. Right? Nope. We're not finished here. Do this one by the window. Oh, okay. Well, we can start with these ones. Also gives us that to start with. That has to be the same region. So it has to be that region. This is a corner, which can't be there. Go there. Has to be that. Has to be a corner there. Can't be a corner that goes back on itself. That's a corner like that. That's a corner. This is a separate area. This is all one region. That's the final region. Lots of streets. I never thought about that, actually. Yeah, there we go. Oh, sneaky little puzzle in the trees there. Okay. Well, that's just a square. That's a fancy way of making a square. Get some better colouring on this. Dead ends, dead ends, dead ends. E. Good. There's one hiding at the bottom of the bridge there. Oh, there's lots of little sneaky puzzles around. This is quite a large area. And I wonder if that's sort of because you have a lot of rules to build on now. So, you know, you add more puzzles for an area because you can build them all up. Okay, yeah, I think going up this hill is the next spot to go. So we'll do that. This has one. Its walls already. It's a corner, so that's to go that way. All areas exactly 6. So 4, 5, can't go down there, that's 6. That shape's done. Stranger and stranger? How so, stranger? Five, 6, that's a little S&S. I don't think that could go down. Otherwise you have to have walls on either side. And then you can't loop back to make a 6 area. That can't go down. There's a wall there. Makes this a new area, which can't loop round. 5, 6 at least. Oh no, yeah, that's that. Well, that can only go one that way, which means it needs to at least take those 5. That means these are all different. And it has to be a corner, so it's that. Next. Ooh. So she have 3. I'm not seeing a particular break-in point. So, actually, so these 2 can't be connected. Then you'd have walls either side, and they would have to keep going, which now makes it a 4-size area. So, walls go that way. And then they are immediately 3 size areas. This is now a corner. Means it has to be on one side or the other. It has to go up. It then can't go to the right, because then it would need to keep going to the right. So that gives us that. Gives us another shape there. This gives us another shape thanks to that wall. We can use the same logic with that. Can't go this way because then it would have to be in a corner and take up a 4th, so that's a 3 there. Got a cat arrive back again. Who is interested in the outside? I'll leave it be. This is a corner. And this is a corner, so they both have to extend out that way. Which now makes this forced to be part of this already existing orange. Just because you need to have that as a dead end and still take up 3. So that's that. This has to be a corner, not a dead end, so that's that. And then we're done. Yay. Why are these... Oh my god, why is it keep doing that? Ugh. So just when I click escape? No? I don't know why it keeps doing that. Okay. Yeah, these 3 are dark pillars, which is curious. That's 4 spot like so. That's 4 there. I have 4 coming out here and here. Those two have to have a wall between them. Because if they don't, then like it doesn't matter where the wall is, you're gonna have more than 4. So there's a wall there. Makes these little T's again. And then we can fill out the last few bits. There we go. Then we can't continue along the bridge. So we've got sort of around this little rivery bit to do. How many more do we have to gild? 6 more to gild. Oh, here we go. And that was a 1, so should be easy enough to do. We've got that shape bank. Hello, Raven. Okay. So that sort of gives us a bit to go on. And yeah, we can just sort of fill out the rest of that. There we go. Okay, another shape bank. And that fills itself out. This one's going to be the same, filling itself out there. This is going to have to be a shape there. That's going to have to be a wall between them again. Because otherwise you end up with like a 2x2 that sort of forces that. So, wall there. Could go either way, don't know. Same with this one. But actually, all regions must be this shape. So they both have to go down into that to make that. We get another region there. This has to be that and that. Keep on going. Okay. Shape bank again. This has to be the little nub, so it can't go down left or right. It has to go up like so, and then it either branches left or right. So that means like these bits all have to be their own little nubs. This is also a little nub. But there's going to be sort of rotationality to it. Which actually, I think I can see without any of these extra bits. If we go to the right, we've got this weird bit that cannot now be that shape. So that has to go to the left. Which now means we have that. Fill in the next one. Fill in another one here. Fill in another one there. And then the rest just start tumbling in. Although this last little bit here... Oh no, it can't go up. It has to go that way. There we go. Sorry, that was my phone. Okay. Keep on. Shape rings. Do these corners. Well, these could be squares. It's not going to connect with that. So this is its own region, as it says. So if this is an S, forces this to be a square. Then you get an S there. This becomes an S. So 9 then it takes that long to break actually. Okay. That basically means that's not an S. Right. That's a square. Means these are both S's on the side. This is having to be a square? No. But that doesn't work either. What am I doing wrong? I'm going wrong again. One of these has to be an S to go in here. It's orange. That does force that to be a square. Then does force that to be an S. Which then does make this all broken. So that does have to be an S there. That makes that a square. That can't be an S because of that. But that has to be an S. That's an S there. This could be an S, or it could be a square. I'll always take that one though, I think. No, because it could technically be an S that way. Oh, yeah. Being silly. So it'll be an S like that. Or is it square? S like that. And then this doesn't work. So that's a square. That's S. This is square. That's S, and then we've got one final S. There we go. That was a bit trickier than I was maybe expecting. 4 and a 3 up here. 2 and a 3 over there. Do this too. Corner. Comes out. Ah. This is going to have to be a separate shape from this orange. Oh, well, we've got this to start us off with. Gives us that. Okay, this might end up being easier than I was thinking. Yeah, there we go. Right. I know it is only 2 difficulty, but I was maybe still expecting a little bit more from it. More sheep banks. These have to be like that. This bit in the bottom right has to go to the right, and that one has to go down to fill in that little 2 gap. This is a new shape. This can still go one way or the other. Or no. Okay, it does have to go. Yeah, because it's not a dead end. Anyway. So that has to be that. It just goes one of those ways. And then it could potentially be 3 there. 3 there. But those 2 are the same shape. This actually. I think that has to be that way. Because if either of these go below it, the other one's going to have to go up the other side, which then turns it into a corner. That goes straight down the middle. Gives us them. That gives us this as a corner, which finishes this top left corner and finishes the puzzle. And that's a gilded window. Yay. Or not gilded, silvered. Silvered, gilded. Ooh, 7 difficulty. That one's going to be tricky. Couple of 6s as well. We've got some tricky puzzles lying up for us. Oh, I see you there. And that. Yeah, let's silver the window. Let's leave it there. Oh my goodness, Aquaria! Oh god, that's a nostalgia hit. That's like OG indie Metroidvania from... Oh, what year was it? 2010? No, maybe even earlier than that. Aquaria, let's have a quick Google. 2007, yeah, earlier than that. Okay. Right. Let's leave it there then. Thanks for joining. I'll see you, excuse me, next week, hopefully. Next week. Something happened. I don't know. Either way, if I do schedule it for next week, hopefully I won't forget. Again. Whoops. So yes, thank you. I'll catch you next time. And take care. Bye bye.